Okay, we are going to do number 79 on page 218. So let me see here. Just make sure you guys can hear me. Okay, so for this one, we want to solve for x. So we want to get everything around x out of there. We want to isolate x just like we would do in Algebra 1. So the first thing I'm going to do is, since x is in the denominator, I want x in the numerator. It's just going to make it easier. So I can just take the reciprocal of both sides. So I'm going to do that first. So 1 minus 5e to the negative 0.01x over 40 equals 1 over 200. So does everyone see what I did? I just flipped to both sides. So now x is in the numerator. It's more accessible, and it's going to be easier to solve. Okay, the next thing I want to do is, let's get rid of the 40. So let's multiply both sides by 40. So if I multiply both sides by 40, I'll do it in a different color. Let's see. I'm going to multiply this side by 40. I'm going to multiply this side by 40. What happens here? The 40s cancel out, and here 40 is just in my numerator. So now I just have 1 minus 5e raised to the negative 0.01 x power equals 40 over 200, which I'm going to reduce to 1/5. Let me just erase that dot. That's multiplication. I want you guys thinking that's a decimal. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do, again, I want to isolate x. So I'm going to get rid of this constant, this 1. I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides. Remember, this is a positive 1. The subtraction, the negative number is the 5, not the 1. So I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides. So now I have negative 5e to the negative 0.01 x power equals whatever 1/5 minus 1 is. And that's actually negative 4/5. Okay, so let me just kind of separate all of this. Okay. Again, I want to isolate the variable here. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to divide everything by negative 5. So if I divide everything by negative 5, whoops, divide this by negative 5, and I'm going to divide this by negative 5. These cancel out. When you're dividing by negative 5, remember it's the same as multiplying by negative 1/5. So that negative 5 goes in the denominator. So now I have e to the negative 0.01x. You see I'm getting closer to isolating x equals, let's see, negative 4 over negative 25 is negative divided by negative is a positive, so it's positive 4 over 25. Okay, I'm almost there. Now I need to get rid of this e. Get rid of e. What cancels e out? The natural log. So remember, the natural log is really log base e. So if I natural log this side so I can get to the x, I have to natural log the other side. Still, algebra rules apply. What you do to one side, you have to do to the other. Whoops. The natural log, actually I wanted to do it in a different color. So the natural log and natural log, I'm going to do that on both sides. And it's going to be the natural log of e to the negative 0.01x equals the natural log of positive 4 over 25. Okay, so the natural log of e is just 1. And remember, the properties of logarithms is that the exponent is also a constant. So if I decide to bring that down, the natural log of e is 1. So now I have 0.0. So they, in essence, they cancel out. So negative 0.01x. Or they don't really cancel. They cancel each other out. And it's just a 1, so we don't have to write it. So negative 0.01x equals the natural log of 4 over 25. Okay, we are almost done. And finally, I just have to divide both sides by negative 0.01. So my answer is x equals the natural log of 4 over 25, the whole thing over negative 0.01. And Assessments is going to ask you to round to the nearest second decimal place or the nearest third decimal place. A question like this, I'd ask for 3 decimal places, and x is 183.258. So just make sure on your calculator that you're entering it correctly. Let me just write that down here. I have more room. X equals 183.258. And that's your final answer for number 79. And I hope this helps. Okay, bye-bye.